This is Jimka. He likes to collect unique things, and if there's one thing he knows, it's that Skyrim is full of unique things. One-of-a-kind items that you can only get once. Things like Dragon Priest masks, uniquely named weapons and armor, and hell, even the Elder Scrolls themselves. But after you've collected all those wondrous things, then what? What, you're just gonna shove them in a chest in your house and never look at them ever again? Just let them collect dust somewhere? Yeah, great idea. But what if we could do more? What if we could find more? What if we could display more? Legacy of the Dragonborn. Recently updated to version 6, this mod adds a museum to Solitude. In fact, it's just to the right of the Blue Palace. It's called the Dragonborn Gallery, and this museum not only natively displays over 1,000 items, but has compatibility with so many other mods that the number of displays can reach well over 4,000. More unique things than you can shake a stick at, and it's our job, no, our honor to fill this thing up completely. This is the Relic Hunter's Guide to Skyrim. Our story starts here, at the Aavi Outpost. You see, we're more than just some grubby loot goblin, we're also the guild master of the Explorers Society, a guild dedicated to unearthing Tamriel's ancient history, and in collaboration with Orion Morellis, the curator and DILF of the Dragonborn Gallery, we'll attempt to display every unique thing Skyrim has to offer. We have a number of tools available to us as the guild master to make this even easier, including Schneider's Sextant, which will mark nearby relics just in case we can't find them, and the Dwemer Compass, which allows us to place up to 5 custom waypoints to travel to. You can even place these waypoints inside. There are a few other things like a backpack that occasionally spawns random loot, and some tools that will make digging for relics more fruitful. All of these unique tools have their own display in the Explorers Society Guild House, but for the majority of our journey, they will remain with us. The first order of business is to finish exploring this outpost where we woke up. Now, normally we would have done this already because we're so awesome, but unfortunately,
the main chamber caved in yesterday. Nobody was seriously hurt, but you and a couple others took some pretty nice knocks on the head, and it set us back a bit.
Thankfully, they already took care of the problem while we were asleep, so it doesn't take us very long to kill some skeletons, kill a ghost, get a handful of gems and some coins, and an Aavi relic, which, when we return to Orion for analysis, is determined to be Drakensang.
I believe it's called Drakensang.
It can then be displayed on the dagger wall in the Hall of Heroes. With that out of the way, it's time to go to Helgen. Why, you ask? Because we were told to. We end up passing through Riverwood, of course, and try to see if there's any relics we can nab with a 5-finger discount, but Fane Dahl, of all people, decides he doesn't like that and chases us out of Riverwood. Just who the hell does he think he is? Does he know who I am? Oh, well, thanks to the Skyrim reputation mod, I guess I'm nobody. Well, this simply won't do. How am I supposed to collect every relic in Skyrim if some of them are privately owned? Like, sure, these standing stone necklaces are free for the taking, but I have to imagine most of the things won't be so easy. I'll have to give this some further thought, but I think we can come up with some kind of master plan. Holy shit, a dragon! Neat. Jeez, this place is looking worse for wear. I wonder if that lady's still making mead with juniper berries. Unlikely. Better take some for the museum just in case. I imagine we'll also find a few things of interest within Helgen Keep, and sure enough, there's a doll and a head in a jar. How wonderful! I guess we should tell someone about this whole dragon thing, but first we should try to make a name for ourselves as someone who hates bandits, and what better place to start than Ember Shard Mine? It's just so full of useless dummies. It makes for a great place to stop off and hone our skills.
Just die.
You may have noticed that I leveled up back there, which means it's as good a time as any to talk about Vocronator Black. God, I hope I'm saying that right. This mod is sort of a mix of a bunch of different perk mods, resulting in, well, a lot of perks. For now, we're putting perks into archery and stealth. I know, shocker, but soon enough we'll find our true calling, and boy, am I looking forward to that. Oh, and would you look at that, a relic just sitting nicely for us, the Battle Axe of Hatred. This also finds its home in the Hall of Heroes. Alrighty, Riverwood, take 2. We run into Sven, who apparently has very strong feelings about a certain someone who tried to run us out of town.
Camilla Valerius knows I'm the best man in Riverwood. I've seen him sneaking over to the Riverwood trader to speak with her when I'm not around.
He decides that being manipulative is the best course of action and gives us a very rude letter. He wants us to tell Camilla it's from Faendal.
He wanted me to think Faendal wrote this? Thank you for telling me the truth. Could you talk to Faendal as well?
I appreciate your help. Please, take this. Some gold I've saved up from working at the mill.
And just like that, the guy that drove us out of town is now our personal bitch boy. Try and stop me from stealing gems and other things now.
We're here to teach you a lesson.
Seriously? Don't you think it's a little early for this, fellas? I mean, come on, we just got started, and you're already out here trying to thug shake me? Who sent you people anyway? Who the fuck is that? As I stare out at this rain, it really got me thinking about my own mortality. I can't believe someone tried to have me killed. Me, the nicest and friendliest person in all of Skyrim.
Thank you for telling me the truth.
You two make yourselves at home.
I appreciate your help.
I cannot best you.
Oh well, time to go sack a crypt, I guess. Check this out. Oh, but check this out. Losers. Ah yes, our very first of many shrines added by the Winter Sun mod. We'll need to activate every single one of these to get a display added in the museum. This one is dedicated to the Magna Gay. It's one of those. Here's a lore dump. Feel free to pause the video if you're interested. Ah yes, Bleak Falls Bellow. Baby's first dungeon. Lots of necklaces scattered around this place. Don't forget this head in a jar. Hey, wait. Is that me? Of course, we can't forget to take the golden dragon claw from Arvel's dumb idiot body. I really feel like we could have been friends if he wasn't such a fuck. And of course, we can't forget the dragon stone. We have to give this away shortly, but we'll be able to make a perfect replica for it back at the museum with a little bit of quarried stone. And then it can be displayed proudly in the library. Outside of Bleak Falls Barrow is Anissa's cabin, and while normally I wouldn't kill some old lady in the middle of nowhere, this one happens to be a witch with relics in her basement. So I think overall this kind of ends up being a moral net positive. Also, there's this meteorite lodged in the ground not far from her cabin, so that's cool. With all of our ducks in order, it's time to head to Dragon's Reach to let Jarl Bala know that there's a dragon about.
By Ismir, Irileth was right.
He thanks us for our effort by giving us more work in the form of helping this idiot. Thankfully, we're much smarter than him and already retrieved the Dragon Stone.
Ah, the Dragon Stone of Bleak Falls Barrow. You already found it.
That's right, bitch. We return to Balgra for a reward. We deserve one, of course, for being so prepared. Unfortunately, there's other problems, and we now have to kill a dragon. And the worst part? We don't even get to see a kill Farengar.
I should come along. I would very much like to see this dragon.
No.
So we set off towards the Western Watchtower, and well, this place does look like it was attacked by a dragon. You see, I happen to know exactly what that looks like. There's also another head in a jar waiting for us in the tower, and yep, you guessed it, a dragon. He went down pretty easy, and we even absorbed some of Daddy's juice from his body. With this new juiced-in goodness, we can shout really loud, and I guess we're something called the Dragonborn? I don't know, but the mountain yelled at us on the way back to see Balgruuf, which is kind of weird. Whatever the case, I'm not the only one confused about all this.
What does any of this Nord nonsense have to do with our friend here?
Nord nonsense. Why, you puffed up ignorant.
Finally, after all that effort, Balgruuf rewards us with something actually special.
By my right as Jarl, I name you Thane of Whiterun.
Yes, in addition to 2 very cool swords that we'll see later, he names us Thane of Whiterun, which means it's now time to enact the master plan. As we learned firsthand earlier, a lot of the relics that we need to collect are privately owned, and as some slightly distrusted Argonian, we couldn't hope to get our hands on all the things we need without ruffling a few feathers. And so, by my right as Thane, I am instigating within Whiterun Hold the Relic Reclamation mandate. Attention, citizens of Whiterun! I won't bore you with all the nitty-gritty Thani terms outlined in this new Relic Reclamation mandate, but simply put, I, Jim-Ka, have declared eminent domain over all relics of historical or cultural significance within Whiterun Hold. And these relics will soon be collected by me, personally, either voluntarily or otherwise. Please, do not resist. This is for your own cultural and historical good. Okay, I know this looks bad, but I'm not entirely heartless. I don't want these people to think that I only want their relics. I mean, I do, but I gotta think about my reputation around these parts, so to appease the masses, I helped a few people in need. This is Isolde. She wants to be the best trader in Skyrim. In fact,
Before my ma and Da passed, I told them that one day I'd become the best trader in Skyrim.
so to further that agenda, she needs a mammoth tusk, which we happen to have.
Let me show you a thing or two about bargaining. Don't want some shifty merchant giving you a raw
Yeah, Isolde, for sure.
pleasure.
Carlotta here is a single widowed mother with a problem.
That bard Mikhail is begging for a dagger up against his throat, the way he goes on about me. I heard him boasting at the Bannered Mare, saying he'll conquer me as a true Nord conquers any harsh beast.
We're happy to lend a hand and sort this out, but not before having Mikhail sign his book for us.
How can I argue with that?
It goes on display in the library with quite a slutty signature to boot. Surely someone who signs a book like this will be reasonable, right?
I'm sorry, but that fiery widow is mine. She just doesn't know it yet.
I'd thank the gods, but I'll settle for thanking you.
You know, kicking that guy's ass woke something up inside of me. A desire to put my fists up against every problem I face. Yes, I have realized my true calling. There is no problem that cannot be beaten by these hands. I will face the world and give it the biggest smack it's ever seen. You hear me, Skyrim? Get ready to be fist.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Last but not least, this is Anders, and he lost something super important.
My amulet of Arche. It's the source of my divine powers and also a sacred badge of office.
We of course agreed to get it back for him, mainly because the skeletons down in the crypt will make a good proving ground for my advanced fisting techniques. Also, there's a Stone of Baron's Eye down here.
Oh, thank Arche!
Well, you could also thank me, but it's whatever. Gold is fine, I guess. After a good night's sleep, today is the first day of the Relic Reclamation mandate going into effect. So, it's time to get to work, and what better place to start than Dragon's Reach? Aside from a handful of gems, books, and Whiterun themed necklaces, we also nabbed this gold model ship, 2 separate fish in 2 separate places, Whiterun guard armor, and oh, that's it. I was expecting a bit more from Dragon's Reach, but whatever, it's fine. You know, I thought I was being harsh when I began implementing the Relic Reclamation mandate, but you people were hoarding so many relics. These things are important, goddammit. They belong in a museum. And you were just content to let them sit on your dusty-ass shelves forever, when they could instead be enjoyed by people far and wide, in a place where they'll actually be appreciated? And no, you can't have them back actually, because you don't know how to take care of the things that you do have. Goddamn peasants. So it turns out the mandate doesn't extend to your Vasker for whatever reason. We had a slight disagreement about it.
I'll rip your heart out!
But then I realized, I am the mandate, and the mandate is me. So if I join the companions, then the mandate will extend to the companions through me.
Welcome to the companions.
Overall, not much though. We found a doll and some necklace dedicated to the Circle? Wherever the fuck that is. Oh, and after we stole this key off Codlac, we got this very cool axe, which has what I can only assume is a werewolf on it. It fits nicely in the Hall of Secrets, and damn, it actually looks pretty good. Pretty hot. Pretty spicy. Smash. Righto, all that's really left now is the farms outside the city. Can't be forgetting about those. Found ourselves a Naginata, which is pretty cool. Some dumbass decided to attack us, but he clearly wasn't prepared for my advanced fisting technique. And then we found a banjo. Fun fact, if you head north outside of Whiterun super early on, you'll run into Cicero, who is Well, Cicero.
I was transporting my dear, sweet mother. Well, not her corpse. She's quite dead.
Despite being Cicero, he asked Vantus, the owner of the nearby farm, for help with his problem, but, well...
Crazy fool's already asked me about 5 times. And just who in Mara's name are you, anyway? Come here, telling me my business. And for what? To help a fool? Look, thanks. And I'm sorry for my unneighborly reaction. If you talk to Cicero, you be sure to tell him I'll be down to help soon.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do for the good of the people. And of course, the Relic Reclamation Mandate. Hey, a Guan down, nice. Honestly, that about covers it for Whiterun. We nabbed a few books from the Khajiit caravan, but it was about time to get back to Solitude, and of course, the museum.
You're just in time to say hello to Rugbeer.
Hello, and welcome to our very first Relic Hunter report. A brief overview of our current progress in the museum, as well as highlighting a few relics of interest and some statistical fun about our progress. I think it's fair to say that the Relic Reclamation mandate we implemented as Thane of Whiterun was quite successful. Between the various areas we managed to survey both in and out of Whiterun proper, we managed to collect 232 different items. Really not too shabby if I do say so myself. It is, however, worth noting that 64 of that 232 is just miscellaneous armor pieces. Things like iron, Nordic, steel. Another 50 or so happen to be books, nothing particularly unique about most of those, as is the nature of books. And lastly, we can deduct another 20 for the various gems we found lying around. Most of these will end up respawning anyway. After all that and a few other outliers, we're only looking at around 80 or so actually unique things that we've collected so far. Possibly less, and while that sounds bad, it's again worth noting that most of these came from the wildly successful and not at all unpopular Relic Reclamation Mandate. Now, before we reveal our overall progress, there are a number of items that I believe are worth mentioning specifically. As our main goal of today's episode was to become Thane of Whiterun, that seems a good a place to start as any. For our efforts in becoming Thane, we have on display this banner adorned on either side with Whiterun guard armor. There's supposed to be a shield too, but we forgot to put it up. Can someone get on that, please? Additionally, on either side, we can store the 2 weapons given to us by Balgriff to serve as our badge of office, the first of which being Thum Fadon. The other, while not as eye-catching, is the Sword of Whiterun. The other things I have to show you today you probably saw throughout the video, but it's still very nice to see them on display as they should be, which is just further proof of the necessity that is the Relic Reclamation Mandate. These relics are special, and they should be appreciated by everyone. And no, you can't have them back. Your compensation will be me saving the world, such is my destiny as Dragonborn. Thank you for your cooperation, and you're welcome. Alright, overall progress. As I mentioned, we're sitting at 232 displays, and that is out of, gosh, let's see here, 4,426 total displays, which puts us at a whopping 5.24% completion rate. Not bad for a day's work, all things considered. I'll throw the relic tracker up on the screen. This gives you a more in-depth look at where the numbers are currently sitting. Feel free to pause the video and examine the numbers yourself. And well, that about wraps up our first ever Relic Hunter report. I hope you found it all thoroughly riveting. I guess the question now is what's next? I'm sure some of you may have already guessed, but we're gonna need to spread the Relic Reclamation Mandate to every corner of Skyrim. And of course, a special shout out to my museum benefactors. Thank you so much for your continued support. Carmen Lewis, Alex Van Loo, Cal Manier, Kyle Palmano, Bobus, Drake, Milk Rice, Key of Destiny, Professor Draco, Dalton Baird, WN, Patton Elliott, Cassiopeia, Robin, Bro the Boomer, Red Dragon, Biz Durek, Alex Assassin, Goshi, D-Buzzy B, Lucifer, The Glitch, Kratos, Zion Johnson, Baked Brownie, Steven, Lorekeeper98, and Core's Banquet Girl. Once again, thank you guys so much. You are, of course, the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, and I appreciate your support. I appreciate it a lot. Thanks. Hey yo, welcome to the Cheese Report. We got 24 different types of cheese. We got Helgen cheese, snowberry cheese, ale cheese, riddled cheese, Old Roy cheese, Salvius cheese, mead cheese, Jarl's Hall cheese, red cheese, green cheese, Riverwood cheese, cheesecake, aged Breton cheese, Hunter's cheese, White Run cheese, ricotta cheese, pepper cheese, a shrieking cheese meal, wine cheese, Frost Miriam cheese, mountain flower cheese, Woodhearth cheese, smoked cheese, and a nut rolled cheese log.